Today's Day with Pewter. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, we were doing a project called Vanessa Park. That was right in the middle of COVID. And now that that's all behind us, we're able to get in here and show you how the finished product ended up. They had a really bad experience with the previous contractor that kind of culminated in a very suspicious break-in. So they were kind of apprehensive to pick somebody. They wanted somebody they could trust. And they reached out to their good friend who is actually the owner of Irpinia, and we were brought forward as a potential solution for them. So we met, we ended up being a great fit for each other, and this is the culmination of everything that we went through together. So let's go take a look. So anytime you're doing a main floor renovation, naturally the staircases are going to come into play. This is an oddity where this was a refinished staircase, but we actually stained the risers and the stringers out. You're not going to see too many of these because it takes quite a bit of skill and maybe luck to sand these things down and be able to restain them. Generally, you can get away with it if you're doing a darker stain, and which obviously you can see we have, that is the case here. But it turned out beautifully, added a fresh runner, new balusters, new railing, new posts, and this whole thing is refreshed beautifully. For our floors in this case, in this home, we have our craft floors. If you'll notice, these are all exceptionally long planks. This is long craft. Every box of flooring that was provided here was full 10-foot length. I don't know if anybody else really gets that long, but it's a nice option. And in this case, they were just low on everything else and ended up giving us the long craft, which is usually a premium for the same price. So that worked out awesome. And you can see nice long runs of flooring in this place. Beautiful. I love the way that this living room turned out. One of the major challenges with any living room is usually the builder doesn't put any lights in it. And they had tried to get some lights installed previously, and they were told no, can't happen. And that's because this is not attic up above here, that's actually roof on the other side of the drywall. So what we did was actually trench, find a path to get the wiring up and through, and now they have a beautiful light fixture here and some nice pot lights to give them even lighting, making this room far more livable and usable and beautiful all at the same time. So the dining room was a very quick refresh, but you'll notice one of our favorite things to do is a dark ceiling. So rather than an accent wall, it's an accent ceiling, and we like to match the color of the floor or the tone of the floor with the ceiling itself, and it just makes it moody, cozy, and particularly when you have the dark top and bottom, it really makes it so that your vision or your focus stays in that present area right in front of you. So just a cool little detail that we like to utilize quite often. Moving into the meat and potatoes of the project. This was a project that was essentially focused around the kitchen, family room, the main living areas of the home. As you can see, we have a big, beautiful Irpinia kitchen with the Miele appliance pack. Hidden up inside there is a massive 10-inch vent with the Miele hood vent pushing tons and tons of air out. The cool thing about it is when you have it on low, there's just so much air volume that's moving that you really never need to turn this thing up above that bare minimum setting. So really cool. You have all the appliances built in really nicely in this one long wall here. Good usable kitchen space, and I don't know, just neat, sharp, clean. And again, tons of content packed into this kitchen. So this kitchen actually took about 2 years to design. They had been going back and forth with the designers, but one thing I will say about my mother, Mary Ellen, is she's really good at getting to the meat and potatoes of what people are trying to achieve. And she's really good at extracting the design language that the clients are trying to talk in their reno. So when we were brought on board, things really started to move a lot quicker here, and they were able to make some really good decisions. And now they have this beautiful kitchen as a result. The coolest thing about this entire project has to be the kitchen table. It took 2 years to design the kitchen, and it's going to take longer to pick a new table. So no, but in all seriousness, they will pick a new one eventually, and then it'll fit everything else that they got going on. They did really well in the family room furniture department, so I have lots of faith that this is going to be switched out to something beautiful in the coming future. But on to the real actual party trick. You'll see that we have our built-in lighting into the shelves. This is the Gino Special. If you look around, you'll never find a switch here. That's because it's actually hidden underneath this countertop. So all you have to do is tap the counter and the sensor will read it and it can come on and off. And you can put your hand there and it will actually dim all the way down. And then you can put your hand back on it. It will dim all the way back up, and a quick tap for on and off. So we like to use this in showers where you need a switch inside of the shower, but you want to keep it hidden. Cabinetry, whatever, but it makes for a fun party trick. And then moving on to my favorite room of the house. I love this big sectional that they have, and obviously all eyes are pointed on the cool fireplace structure and flanking cabinetry that we have in place here. So in this case, we were actually able to reuse their original fireplace. You know, big enough unit, and not everybody thinks it's necessary to swap out and spend crazy amounts of money on a fireplace when they have a perfectly good one working there. So this is a perfect example of how you can execute using existing equipment and really dress it up and make it something special. So in this case, we did the porcelain tile, recessed the TV in, and because they have nice tall ceilings, we were able to put the sound bar in below the TV and get a nice clean aesthetic. And the TV, the sound bar, everything is protected from the heat from the fireplace. Again, we have our built-in lighting on either side for these bookshelves and this beautiful Erpinia cabinetry to give them all the organization that they need. So when you're adding tons of cabinetry like this, you don't have to have curio cabinets and this, that, the rest of it. All you need is your comfy chairs, you know, side tables. You can pretty much just decorate, and everything else gets stored in these cabinet setups. Fantastic option for a family room and super cleanly executed in this case. To go along with the Sonos soundbar is a Sonos sub in the back, and we actually have speakers in the back that are picked up by a Sonos amp. So the cool thing about it is it will fully integrate all together. There are speakers that run throughout the house as well. All the wiring and drivers for that are hidden down below in that cabinet. But the best part about Sonos is you can control it all from your phone. It's super easy to set up, and it's generally one of the things that we recommend for people who aren't looking to go and do full automation for their home. It's probably the closest thing that you're going to get at the best price point. So that, and it's user friendly. So this house has it, and we were just talking earlier with the homeowner about how awesome it was. They were watching Top Gun Maverick, and they heard the plane flying in the background, and you don't get that just off of the soundbar alone. So great little option to add another $800 amp to pick up some actual speakers that are wired in the ceiling. Another little design detail that we like to pull forward, and something worth considering while you're planning your actual cabinetry order, is where are the floor vents going and how are we going to route the air if the vent happens to land underneath the cabinet. So a lot of times it's not worth or even possible to open the floor up and relocate the air vent. And so what we will do is specify that the cabinetry comes with slotted vents in the front of it, particularly in the toe kick. And then so we build a little box, route the air out through the front of the toe kick, and it's a nice clean look. If the cabinet company isn't or hasn't allowed for that, a lot of times we'll just take an ARIA vent, take a piece of the cabinet, and stick that inside. So it's still nice and clean, but I prefer this look better. So that just about sums up this Lauren Park project walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed. It's always nice getting back in, you know, even seeing the projects myself and remembering how beautiful they are as we're doing the walkthrough is always fun to me. So it's nice to be able to share it. You know, if you want to come along with our journey, you know where to find us at pewter.build across everything. So cheers.